on? Someone wants to do a little summary, or I do it? Okay, 1 second. Yeah, so we are in this section where Nishkama Karma Yoga, Buddhi Yoga is being spoken about, right? And we heard that how, 1 second, where is my, okay, here. So it was from verse number after 38. Yeah, thus far I have described the knowledge to you through analytical study. Now listen as I explain in terms of working without fruitive results. Right? And we heard that if even if we do a little bit, then it will save us from the dangerous reactions, dangerous type of birth, basically. It will at least give us a better birth, even if we do a little, even if we do a little. And then we heard about having a one-pointed intelligence, and only when it can be one pointed when we are engaged in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise it will be many direction that we ourselves have experience of when we are in association of devotees, or when we are at some retreat. We remain focused in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise our mind is wandering into 20,000 different directions, right? And then we heard about that people whose intelligence is divided into so many things. And why it gets divided into so many things? Because of their attachment to the flowery words of the Vedas, right? Because of the fruitive intentions. So we need to get out of this fruitive intention, and that is only and only possible when we engage in Krishna consciousness, right? Instead of our sense gratification. Yeah, and then when somebody is too much attached to the sense enjoyment, then the intelligence cannot be focused on devotional service. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and then here Krishna is saying just become, transcend the dualities and the three modes of material nature. Don't worry about gain and safety and all that stuff. Yeah, so if we engage in the service of the reservoir of all, then we can fulfill everything. And then the very important verse about faith, Srila Prabhupada quoted in that Vyavsayatmika Buddhi verse, Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Kahe Sudrid Nishchaya Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krit Haya. Meaning, if I am doing Krishna consciousness, my all duties, everything will be fulfilled. I'll attain perfection, right? And then this verse that you all read on Wednesday about doing your duty, but not actually thinking about that I'll get this fruit. I'm doing this so that I can get this. But we should do our prescribed duty properly. And then we should not think that we are the cause of that action, because we know that there are five causes of action, and without the Supreme Lord, nothing can be completed, basically. So we should always think of the that, okay, oh Krishna, you are so kind that you allowed me to complete it, right? And if it doesn't happen, then there must be Krishna's plan. Actually, there must be something, that some reason that Krishna didn't let it happen, right? There must be some reason. Yeah, and never be attached to not doing your duty. Also, in the name of Krishna consciousness, I should stop doing my prescribed duties of maintaining the children and the household and all that. So that is called ignorance, basically, if we stop doing that. Yeah, and then you do your duty properly in yoga, meaning connecting it to everything. So basically, that Sambandha Gyan, meaning understanding the relationship of everything with Krishna, and how all actions are happening because of his will, and how we get ability and strength, intelligence, and everything, and all the ingredients because of him. It's not that I am generating anything, right? Yeah. All right. So let's continue. Someone, you want to read Naradi, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
49.
Hmm. Durena hai avaram karma buddhi yoga dhanam jaya buddho sharanam anvicha kripana falhetava. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service, and in that consciousness surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their works are misers. Purport. One who has actually come to understand one's constitutional position as an external servitor of the Lord gives up all engagement save working in Krishna consciousness. I'm going to read, sorry. One who has actually come to understand one's constitutional position as an eternal servitor of the Lord gives up all engagements save working in Krishna consciousness. As already explained, Buddhi Yoga means transcendental loving service to the Lord. Such devotional service is the right course of action for living entity. Only misers desire to enjoy the fruit of their own work just to be further entangled in material bondage. Except for work in Krishna consciousness, all activities are abominable because they continually bind the worker to the cycle of birth and death. One should therefore never desire to be the cause of work. Everything should be done in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of Krishna. Misers don't know how to utilize the assets of riches which they acquire by good fortune or by hard labor. One should spend all energies working in Krishna consciousness, and that will make one's life successful. Like misers, unfortunate persons do not employ their human energy in the service of the Lord.
Yeah, you want to say something? Very nice verse and purport. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
Yeah,
the
this
very,
will be
very
the confusing verse for Arjuna, and in third chapter he will again ask a question because of this verse. Yeah, go ahead.
because of this.
Naradi,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So um, I what I understood is like it's saying like we should understand our transcendental position is that we are the servant of the Lord,
Yes.
and everything that we earn or any work that we do, we should not do it so that we can enjoy the fruit of that work, but it should be centered around Krishna. That whatever we are doing is that the whatever we are doing should go towards the Krishna. Like anything that we are doing, Krishna should be centered. Even if we are working, whatever money we are making, we should utilize it towards Him or offer it to Him. So that way we don't get any bondage, more bondage in the material world. And whatever we do then is karma free. And the misers who don't understand, they just want to use all their energy to accumulate and enjoy the material world, and that's why they suffer. And I think in the beginning I didn't understood like to keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. So meaning abominable activity, everything is abominable if it is not done for the pleasure of Krishna. And what does devotional service means? That we do for Krishna, right? What devotional
mhm,
service means it is done for the Supreme Lord. That is devotion, bhakti, right? Bhakti
mhm,
means we are doing it for the Supreme Lord or his devotees for the pleasure of the other person and humbly and for the benefit of the other person, not for my own enjoyment,
mhm,
for the Supreme Lord's pleasure, right? Those are the
mhm,
that is the three components of service, devotional service. So anything we know, we understand that everything is binding and sinful if it is not done for the Supreme Lord's pleasure, right? So that is
mhm,
why, so that is what is called abominable activities because they are sinful.
mhm,
It's very
mhm.
heavy to understand that anything which is not done for the Supreme Lord is sinful. Because it is, why is it sinful? Because it's binding us in the karmic reaction, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm, yeah.
Is it clear?
Yeah. And then the second line, which says about the miser, like if we are
Okay, yeah. I
those who
will
want to
also.
enjoy. Yeah,
Mhm.
you explain, Mata.
Go ahead. No. You say first, then I'll say.
So those who want to enjoy the fruits of their works are misers. Like why? Like miser by definition means like who is like conjuice, right?
Mm.
Like who just
Mhm.
want to spend whatever they earn on themselves only and not
Mhm.
do anything else. So because they don't want to spend it on Krishna, so that's why
Mhm.
they are miser. Is
Mm.
that the correct understanding?
Yeah, so basically, okay, so we are human beings. Any living entity, what is their real constitutional position? And that's what Srila Prabhupada is kind of hinting in the purport in the first line itself,
Mhm.
right? So, what is our real identity? What is our real identity?
The we are servant of Lord,
Servant of
like Lord.
Krishna. And then when we are, if we are not doing the devotional service, what are we doing? Is it contrary to our constitutional position, or it
Yeah,
is?
because we want to enjoy rather than
Yeah.
serving.
So meaning what does miser means? When I am not using something as it should be used, right?
Mm,
I have money, but I am not using it for I am not spending it in anything. That is called miser, right?
mm,
So my position, my reality, my real identity is to serve Krishna. And I'm not doing it. Then am I miser or not?
mhm,
And Srila Prabhupada gives this example in the first chapter, also in that first chapter purports also about the miser, Brahmana and non-Brahmana, right? He says that in the verses in the purport of first chapters also. Is that clear now?
mhm. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So
Could
this is
you,
very.
yeah, you are saying this will question will come again in the third chapter. Could you explain
Yeah,
that?
yeah. So
Why
this
the
no.
doubt?
So this verse is going to confuse Arjuna, that because Krishna is saying keep these abominable activities far distant. So Arjuna is thinking fighting is abominable
Mm,
because he is thinking it separate from Krishna. But Krishna
okay.
wants the fight, so that does not, it means that is favorable for him, right? It's not abominable. But Arjuna is going to think, oh, fighting is abominable, so I shouldn't fight. And then he's going
Mm,
to ask the question in the third chapter in the beginning, what should I do? Should I s- stop doing anything, or should I do? Right? He's
mm.
going to ask renouncing or working without fruitive result. Yeah. Anything else? Because this is very important too. I mean, it's so deep. This just two-line verse is so deep, actually. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the whole theme of these three verses, 47, 48, 49, is that how Nishkama Karma Yoga can release us from the bondage of fruitive action and reaction. That's what we heard in these three verses, right? 47. So it's like a small section within the section. Yeah. So instead of total renunciation, we should work without fruitive mentality, basically. Because if we renounce, then there is a chance of fall down because we will not be using appropriately. True renunciation is yukta vairagya, meaning when we are using everything in Krishna service. That's what is the teaching of Rupa Goswami, and our Simha Guru Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur
Right.
is the big proof of that, and he showed by his example how to engage everything in Krishna service, right? Okay, so should we do the next verse, or somebody has something before that? Okay, let's move on. So someone would like to read verse 50?
Read, Mataji. Can
Who?
I read, Mataji?
Oh, you read already, right? Somebody who didn't read. Sid Prabhu, you want to read? Because you didn't read today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead. And Gopavindapal Prabhu, probably the next one if you want.
Yeah, if you have time, I will read, Mataji.
Yeah.
I'm ready to read.
Yes, read Prabhu.
Okay.
14, 50, verse 50.
Udi Yatu Jahatia Ubhi Sukrata Duskrate Tasmad Yogaya you Yasava Yoga Karmasu Kausalam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Reports. A man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad reactions, even in this life. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of all work. Purport. Since time immemorial, each living entity has accumulated the various reactions of his good and bad work. As such, he is continuously ignorant of all his real constitutional position. One's ignorance can be removed by the instruction of the Bhagavad Gita, which teaches one to surrender unto Lord Krishna, Lord Sri Krishna, in all aspects and become liberated from the chained victimization of action and reaction, birth after birth. Arjuna is therefore advised to act in Krishna consciousness, the purifying process of resultant action. Haribol.
Hare Krishna, you want to say something?
Yeah. Well, first of all, yoga, the most important thing is yoga is the art of all work. And all work is yoga. If you're engaged in devotional service, it's like a third path, because because the good and bad reactions, even in this life, that it's like a third rail, and so it's like not one or the other. It's like in the middle, and becoming liberated from the victimization of action and reaction, birth after birth. So Arjuna was advised by Krishna to please.
Yeah, so it's continuation from the previous verse, right? Just like it was saying that how we become miser if we don't act in Krishna consciousness. If we don't engage in devotional service, then we become misers, right?
Yes.
So this verse again, what it is saying is kind of that, but if we actually engage in devotional service, then we will not be bound in the results of good and bad. So we will be free, because if I do good things, right, then I have to take another birth again to get the result of the good work that I do. If I do bad work, then I will get the sufferings as reaction in my next life or this life, whatever, or even after many, many lifetimes. So again, that will keep going on. So what's the best way of getting rid of this good and bad karma? So I get the good or bad karma because I'm doing for myself, just like it was saying in that verse number 47, that I am not entitled to. So what is Krishna saying here in that verse 47? Three things he's saying. You are not entitled to the, so we should do our prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action, right? Meaning, whatever I am doing, whatever comes. I should not desire some fruit, something for my own enjoyment. And then he's saying, never consider yourself to be the cause of results of your activity. So there will be result coming from whatever I am doing, but I am not the cause, because there is a supreme cause behind everything, right? And then never be attached to not doing your duty. So meaning, it's not that, oh, anyway, I'm not going to get any result, I shouldn't do my duty, right? It shouldn't be like that. So 3 things Krishna is saying here. Okay. I think somebody can continue. I have to take this. Okay. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada.
So, yeah, Janashri Prabhu, you want to continue or?
Yeah, I was just going to say that the devotional service, the beauty about devotional service is that it doesn't only get rid of good and bad reactions in this life, even your previous lives. By taking to devotional service, your reactions to your previous lives are eradicated. So that is very, very important. It's not like if I'm doing devotional service now, I'm not going to get good reaction or bad reaction in this life. No, but devotional service will eradicate even previous karmas from previous life. I just want to add that.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. And that's just the only other thing. It's not like we do devotional service and gives us a free pass to do more sins, right? That's an aparadh. That we don't do devotional service, that our sins we keep doing sins and in the hope that they will get eradicated. But that's the only thing. So from these 2 verses, we are just saying that Krishna is talking about Buddhi Yoga, which is devotional service here. He's not asking us to renounce, but saying that act in Krishna consciousness. At the same time, we will have to do prescribed duty, because this is the same verses he will quote, saying, should I go and give up, take sannyas and not do my prescribed duty? Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's already 8:43. Somebody has any questions or comments? Anything to add? Correct?
Yeah, I just want to say, Prabhuji, even we read it in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, they mention that Kutam, Bijam, right? The actually sinful activities or some intentions which are not fructified. Actually, it's sinful activities only. Right now, we don't see the reaction, but because they are not fructified, it's like, I think, Kutam or Bijam something. So everything will be eradicated by this devotional service. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Seeds in the making, seeds which are fructified,
Yeah.
which are going to happen in the future, all of them are eradicated by devotional service.
Yeah. Both prarabdha and aprarabdha karma.
Right.
What the manifested and the unmanifested. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, I think it's for 8:44, so we'll say our prayers. Vanchakalpatrubhyascha
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda
वैष्णववृंद की जय,
Srila
श्रील
Prabhupada ki
प्रभुपाद की जय,
Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai,
जय
Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Thank you,
जय।
devotees. Thank you,
Thank you,
devotees.
devotees. Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.